All right, welcome back. Hope you had a nice drying break. My painting should be completely dry. How do I know? Well, I washed my hands. I know you can't tell. Now, if you don't want to do that for risk of ruining your painting, you can also just kind of look at it in the light and the shininess reflected off of it. Within that, you'll be able to see it, the wet spots. They'll kind of be like a wet mark on the kitchen floor. When you look at it in the light, you can tell where the streaks are still wet and where it's safe to tiptoe past. So it's completely dry, and that's important because we're going to use chalk. I should have said this earlier, but if you don't have chalk, you can always use a pencil very lightly, a piece of charcoal, anything to make a very, very light mark that you can wipe off. Even a bit of a crayon, maybe. What I like about the chalk, though, is you can create something very lightly. And if you're like, don't like that one, I think I'd rather maybe make it go this way, that way, you can take this and it just wipes right off of your canvas, which is nice, very nice. So again, I'm going to pull this a little bit closer here. I want to make sure y'all get that shot of the website. You can register for classes in Garland, Texas. If you're interested in purchasing any of the paintings that I feature, you can contact me at Karajo, K-A-R-A-J-O, at the Artist Studio, that's 2 S's, Garland.com. Although I have also purchased the domain for the Artist Studio with 1 S, just in case, and had it forwarded to mine. So you can also check out our Facebook page, like us on Facebook, the Artist Studio Garland, or you can just look up the Artist Studio, look for our logo, look for my goofy face. All right, here we go. For this section, I do have the chalk. I have a bit of clean water, might as well. A clean rag for wiping the chalk. I have not reloaded my paints. I had some more white from the last time I reloaded, but go ahead and reload your white if you like. As long as the paint underneath is dry, it's not going to mix with what's on top, as long as you don't gouge your brush in there too much. For my brushes, I have selected, we're not even going to use this one until later, but for the branches, I like to use a nice fine tip round. This is a 6. You could use smaller, bigger. I kind of like a little bit more meat on there just because I can use the tip to make a very, very, very fine line if I need to. Sorry, let me see, y'all can see this. If I needed to, just use the tip. Or I can push down a little harder, and when I do decide to go for a long line, this is going to hold plenty of paint on that brush. I'm not going to run out of paint on my brush halfway through the line. Some people really love these. This is called an angled shader. It's a lot like your square brush, but it has an angle to it, which is nice, a little more ergonomic. So when trying to create a line using the side of your brush there, what I mean by that is rather than using the brush full on, just taking the brush and making sure it's nice and sharp and cutting a line. Listen to that, cutting that line like it's a knife cutting through your canvas. Don't cut your canvases, kids. Because I have paint on these, I'm going to go ahead and wipe them and then place them in the water. I'm not using them yet. We'll go ahead and do the chalking part. Now, if you just want to go for it and just paint your tree, you can skip forward through the chalking out of just a little guideline for my tree. But I would watch it just for the case of looking for how to paint it. We're going to do lots of Y's. Think about lots of Y's and V's. And we'll get that chalk.